Picture this. You've just been crowned queen, and before you even take a breath, the celebration becomes a trap. The bells, the cheers, the golden crown pressing into your skull, none of it means safety. It means your life now belongs to someone else. Fairy tales lied. Becoming a king's wife wasn't a reward. It was the doorway into a shining nightmare. Royal wives were treated like high-priced human assets. From birth, their destiny was already auctioned off. Age didn't matter, 5 or 15. The negotiations began early. Take Margaret of Anjou. Promised at 6 years old, traded for politics that didn't even happen.
Here's the truth they never teach you. Queens weren't powerful. They were luxury prisoners. Every movement watched, every conversation monitored. Privacy didn't exist. Mary Stuart lived this nightmare. Spies followed her, letters intercepted, her secretary murdered in front of her. Queens were praised publicly, but privately, their bodies were controlled like royal livestock. A queen's biggest duty wasn't ruling. It was producing an heir, preferably male. If she failed, she was blamed, shunned, sometimes replaced. Queens prayed over every pregnancy. Their lives depended on the outcome. Medieval courts weren't just political. They were toxic battlefields. Poison was cheaper than war, and much quieter. Queens learned to eat last, drink only from trusted cups, and never turn their back on a grieving noblewoman. Enemies wore silk, not armor. Many queens were forbidden from learning. Knowledge was dangerous. A smart woman threatened the fragile egos of powerful men. So queens studied in secret. Late nights, hidden scrolls, silent reading by candlelight. Some became the most educated women of their century, yet history erased that too. In royal families, betrayal came easier than love. Brothers plotted, mothers manipulated, sisters became political rivals. The throne didn't unite families, it crushed them. Queens learned the cruel truth. Blood meant nothing against power. Not all rebellions use swords. Some are quiet, invisible, slow, but far more powerful. Queens rebelled with words, with alliances, with secrets, with survival. Their silence was not weakness, it was strategy. Here's the irony of history. Kings ruled nations, yet many couldn't rule themselves. Their paranoia, greed, and cruelty destroyed kingdoms faster than any army, and queens were often the first victims of their downfall. When kingdoms collapsed, queens had only 2 choices: escape or die. Most didn't survive. Those who did became legends, ghosts in history, names erased to protect fragile kings. Exile wasn't peace. It was a living ghosthood. Queens became wanderers, forgotten by the world they once ruled. But exile gave them something the palace never did: freedom. They tried to erase the queens, but legends do not die. Whispers carried their names. Songs kept their battles alive. And centuries later, history finally began to listen. The silent queens were never silent. They were survivors.